I'm Officer Grieve. You're coming along on a ride along with me on day shift. I've been with the Lynnwood Police Department since January of this year, 2024. Prior to that, I worked for the Escalation Police Department, where I was a patrol officer for just about 2 years. And then prior to that, I worked as a 911 dispatcher for the previous 12 years. We're en route to do an area check for a felony warrant subject. He ran from our proact sergeant last week and ditched his car, so his car was impounded. It sounds like he's now at the tow yard trying to get his car. The tow driver must be aware that we're looking for him and is trying to get a call from the sergeant. So we'll head that way and see how we can assist.
Reserve House 198. We want to go into Scriber Lake. I think it's going to take a right. Yeah, right towards 196.
We were dispatched to a tow yard. They were saying that the registered owner of the car was there trying to pick up his car. The tow yard knew that we'd impounded the car and that the driver was wanted. So we did an area check to try to contact him, take him in for his felony warrants, but he must have got tipped off before we were able to get there, and he fled again in a different car and did not stop for us when we tried to stop him. 6 Lincoln 2 traffic.
61 Lake 2.
Pulling into T-Mobile on 196.
Lake 2 on traffic at T-Mobile on 196.
Hey there, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
Good. Officer Grieve, Lynnwood Police Department. You got any ID on you?
Yeah.
All right, will you turn the car off for me? Where do you live at? Where are you headed?
To my dentist.
To your dentist? Where at?
You right behind this building.
Just right behind there? Okay, just hang tight for me. 6 Lincoln Continue, check a name. Okay, so we were on routine patrol just driving through the city. We saw a car in front of us. We ran the license plate and came back to a female. We saw the driver was a male. So we ran the driver, or the last male associated, and he came back with a misdemeanor warrant. We were able to confirm that that was his identity before pulling him over. We pulled him over and confirmed on the warrant. It was domestic violence in nature, so that's a mandatory arrest for our city. And then he was sent off to jail. Yeah, I thought dispatching was so much fun. It was kind of my entry into law enforcement, and so just answering the calls. I started just get really curious about what was happening on those calls and you know, how the officers were handling them, and I just got so interested in the law enforcement side of it. I went for a couple ride-alongs, and then I was just instantly hooked. We are headed to the Trader Joe's for an infant locked in a car. It can be pretty dangerous. If the car's not running, then there's no air circulating and it can heat up pretty quick. I think they say if it's like 60, it can be 85 in a car, which depending how old a baby is, I mean, they're pretty sensitive to temperature and whatnot, so we'll head over there and see what kind of assistance we need.
Okay, the rest of this we'll worry about later. Anything else from us? Okay, take a breath, it's fine. Okay. Can we take him out, get a little air on her back? Just get that sweat going? Yeah.
So this was a really cool time to get into Lynnwood. The city is expanding and growing at such an exponential rate. With the light rail and all the retail, Lynnwood is, you know, it's a busy city. There's a lot going on. If you like police work and you think it's fun, like, this is a great place to be. The department is real supportive. They really encourage proactive work, which is my favorite thing. I love, like, finding stolen cars, people with warrants. So Lynnwood just has so much to offer. I mean, even if that's not your thing, there's a lot of other areas and specialties that you could get into. So Lynnwood just had a lot of opportunity to grow. We were dispatched to a report of suspicious activity. Just a truck was parked and the occupants were refusing to leave. We talked to them. Their truck's broken down. They're local brothers who are homeless, just living in the car. So they agreed to move along. In the next hour, they thought they'd get the truck fixed and then they'll be out of there. Yeah, so we were dispatched to a report of a slumper. We got there and the female was just having a medical issue, said that she was recently diagnosed with narcolepsy, and sort of just passed out while she was parked. So nothing for us to do. We just cleared it to fire. We see a ton of different calls. You kind of never know what you're going to get dispatched to next, which is kind of the appeal to the job for a lot of people. I mean, this morning we had helped a little kid who ran out from his house, and he was 2 years old and just kind of wandering down the roadway. And we go to stuff like that with a slumper, and now we're headed to a guy trying to fight somebody at Burlington Code Factory. So you just really never know what's coming next, but that's kind of what makes it so fun. Burlington through traffic.
613.
Ashway under 405 is obstructed, Silverado.
32, Ashway under 405, obstructed plate on Silverado.
So we saw a truck driving in front of us that had an obstructed license plate, so we pulled over, just talked to the driver, gave him some education on moving. He had like a tie connecting the bumper to the rest of the truck, so we just gave him some education on moving that so that the plate could be read easily from behind. It's just Washington state law that you have to have your plate unobstructed. I need to be able to read it clearly from behind, so you can't have, people have those like clear license plate covers over it. You can't have anything like that obstructing your license plate or covering your license plate. How's it going?
I'm okay.
What was going on back there?
I just bought the car, so I was just
You're just what?
flexing.
You were flexing?
Well, I wanted to show it's a V8. I messed up. I'm sorry.
How were you flexing?
Ma'am, it's a big engine.
Uh-huh.
So
I know what a V8 is.
I just step on the gas on.
You just stepped on the gas. All right, you got your driver's license on you?
May I?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
That's all right. You got insurance on the car?
I just bought it.
How long have you had it for?
3 months.
3 months. So we were driving and we saw a Mercedes on the other side of the road. There was a bunch of smoke coming from the car. It looked like the driver was doing burnouts. So we turned around and started following the car and conducted a traffic stop on it. While we were on the traffic stop, we had a motorcycle come up to us. And the driver said that the Mercedes was doing burnouts kind of all up and down that roadway. And that they had thrown some asphalt onto his motorcycle, causing some damage. And also the driver was suspended and he did not have insurance. So we wrote him a whole slew of tickets, and hopefully he won't be driving like that again.